Hello. I wrote the same program I did before with C++. I'm going to show you the file is real. It's a CPP file. I used Notepad to write the file, and then I compiled it with with the C++ compiler, which is free. It's a free download. In fact, anybody can use it. You just have to learn how learn the language and learn how to program. But I'm going to show you that first that was the file I wrote, and now I'm going to show you how it how it really works. I have to compile it. Basically, what this file does, it goes and reads a folder in every directory within that folder and gets all the video files and puts them in and links them in an Excel file. So first I have to compile it. So I'm going to create an executable. You'll see it pop up, in the window as soon as it compiles. And then I'll run it. And what you'll see is, the batch file that I wrote that did the same function, it took 20 minutes to run. This C++ file, this executable that I created, takes about, 2 minutes to do everything that the batch file did. 2 minutes. And I learned how to compile everything into one file instead of multiple files. So the macros, one macro instead of two macros, instead of three macros, it's just one macro. So now I have the exe file. Now I'm going to run the exe file. Notice the time it says it's 2:07. So when the exe runs, it's going to take about 2 minutes to run. At this point, all I can do is wait for it to compile, or wait for it to get all the information it needs, and then it writes the macro. It writes the macro. And that was that fast. That was that fast. So less than 1 minute. In 1 minute, it did everything in 1 minute. So now that's the file that it wrote. That was the macro that it wrote, and this is the CSV file that it created. It's just a comma delimited Excel file. It pasted everything in there. You can save it as a normal Excel file, but you have to run the macro to create all the links. That's the first part, is running the macro. So first thing I do is I learned, record a macro stop, then you have to edit, and then you can import. And now I'm importing the video file that I created, the BAS file that I created. It's a Visual Basic file that links all the files. Remember, I wrote the Visual Basic file with C++. The file exists. That's the one I wrote. And then now I'm going to run the macro. And macro, it takes less than a minute or so to run the macro, because everything's in one macro instead of multiple macros. It's one file. It's one file. So the more I work on it, the more I learn, and the more I can do. That's kind of the way it goes with electronics, programming, everything you do. You learn more as you go along. I don't care what kind of job you have. You learn more as. So that's the first video. We'll go to another. This is Capital Louisiana.
Failure to intervene. An officer who purposefully allows fellow officers to violate a victim's constitutional rights may be.
This is. So I just go through each of these just to show, that it's really linking. It linked all, because it takes about, a minute to 2 minutes to her file to link a file manually. I just linked over 1,400 files in a matter of 2 minutes because I wrote the program to do it. I mean, other people can do this. It's just, I'm trying to show you I'm not a dumb. You think I'm a moron. I'm not stupid. And that's what this video is trying to show you. I'm not the moron that you try to say that I am. If Harvey Burkhart's alive, Harvey Burkhart needs to go to jail. He's alive. He faked his death. If my daughter's alive, Sarah Ramsey, if she's alive, someone needs to go to jail for what you did to me. If all these people fake their deaths. Oh, this is a good video. Watch out, everybody knows who I am.
Look at that. Wait for us. Look at that. They're all waiting for us. There's what happens everywhere I go.
They wait for me to show up, and everybody start walking out.
Nobody wants to hell.
This is December 2022. What's today's date? January 2025. Everyone knows, they've known all this time, nobody will tell the truth, so I'm homeless. So look at the date, 2025. Anyway, that kind of ran over for a second. What I'm saying is the entire world is watching you. Oklahoma and Texas law enforcement willfully lie, willfully withhold the truth and the evidence to torture somebody in which the entire world knows that you committed a crime against. You will not tell the truth. Here's another video. 3 important dates. This is October 1st, 2019. I released this video. Intel Corporation called me and threatened me with law enforcement. They had their cops come over on that day. Right after I released that video, the cops showed up at my house. It was a big-headed cop, too big blonde-haired guy. He ended up changing Han Wong's tire in San Marcos in 2020, 2021 time frame. After they sent me here. Is he stalking Han Wong? Yes. The first is, October. Then there's November 27th. That's when they let me out of the mental hospital after arresting me. Even the cop that arrested me told me, that they arrested me 2.5 weeks before the date on the warrant. They falsified the date. They made the date look like, I was being arrested 2.5 weeks later than I was actually arrested. So they let me out on this day, November 27th, 2022. This is when I made the video, but they showed up at my house, and my neighbor, Aaron Price, walks right outside, right after they showed up, 2 Intel cops. And the crazy thing is, she had an Intel Corporation employee walking around inside of her house before Intel fired me. Another important date is April 5th, 2022. This is when I released this video. Now, Intel Corporation called me, started threatening me with law enforcement again, and then they had them start stalking me all over Dallas because they wanted to cover up the fact that they used the story that your Clark County Police had somebody placed in my head while I was working on networks. He said his name was Kyle Whaley. Maybe it's Harvey Burkhart. Hypnotism. All I know is they place stories in my head, and I'm having to live these stories out because nobody will tell the truth, and you guys just treat it like it's a joke. People tried to kill me. They gave me alcohol poisoning.
Hey, everybody. Just let you know.
Their cops showed up right after this, started stalking me all over Dallas-Fort Worth, knowing what Carter County, Oklahoma, and Texas law enforcement did to me. They will not tell the truth. They just keep putting me in jail instead of telling the truth. That was an 11-minute video, but if you just look at the dates, you'll realize it's already 2025. Everyone proves to know the truth. Nobody tells the truth. If Dale Earnhardt's alive, which he is, I know he faked his death, that's what Intel Corporation used to tease me. You'll see your dead daughter if you do this, Brett. You'll see your dead daughter if you do that. Now, they didn't physically say that, but that's what the person who hypnotized me placed in my head. With this of any courage, you're going to see your dead daughter alive with Dale Earnhardt. That's how they gave me alcohol poisoning 5 times. using the stories that your police placed in my head. So, Jeff Hunt, are you going to just sit back and let these cops torture me to death while you know the truth? While you withhold truth in the evidence? Because you were there when Dale Earnhardt Sr. faked his death on February 18th, 2001. Here's something that's going to really hurt some people. Just check this out. Dream Theater released this album right here. They released it on September 11th, 2001. On the actual day of the attacks, this was already on the shelves before the attacks happened. Either they faked it or it really happened. I know they faked it. Nobody wants to tell the truth. Dream Theater, are you in a conspiracy against Brett Finnerty's life? Because I know you are. You will not tell the truth. I've been tortured because you are withholding the truth in the evidence. I want you to realize that those are markings for Japan. It was already on the shelves in Japan. People bought this. People know what's going on around the entire world.